What's up, everybody? I'm gonna do a little something different today. It would appear that I am out of a lot of the colors that I use in my jerk baits and my trick worms. Not too concerned about the trick worms right now this time of year, but the jerk baits, it's a big deal. So we're gonna go to the bait station. We're gonna take a lot of these baits that I have that are spent, and I'm gonna show you guys how you can melt your baits down, whether they're Zoom, Z-Man, well, plastisol baits, your traditional plastic baits, not the Elastec and all that crap. I can't do anything with that because I'm not well versed on that stuff yet. But plastisol, regular plastics, Zoom, Culprit, Bass Assassin, I mean, you name it, you can pretty much do it. So I'm gonna show you what I do, how I save all my baits, and how I clean them, melt them down, and shoot different baits with them. That's what we're gonna do today because I happen to need some baits. We're gonna load up the kayak. We're gonna go to the bait station. We're gonna make some baits. Hopefully this rain stays off, or it rains enough that it can dump it all, and then we can go test these baits out after we make them. So stay tuned. This should be fun. Should be educational at least. And if you like to keep fishing and not buy plastic baits, I'm gonna show you how you can buy 10, 20 packs of plastic baits and then reuse them over and over and over again. Let's get this thing loaded up and let's go get to making baits. I'll see you at the bait station.
Here we are. We made it to the bait station. We are at Jimothy Dalton's house. Oh, got a little smudge on the cameras. And now we are gonna make some more of this color because I have 2 bags left. And that's not kosher. But what we have to do is, we have to separate all these plastic baits. This is like a month or so worth of plastic baits. We have to separate these, clean them, melt them down, shoot them in a new mold, and let's get to it. All right. Baits and baits and baits galore. So we're looking for all the same color, this color. And anything that is like really, really remotely similar, and we can mix that in. But just remember, once you start mixing stuff in, you can't get it out, and it becomes very saturated very quickly. So keep that in mind. But we're just gonna go through here and we're gonna find all the ones that are pretty much clear plastic. See, now that has too much glitter, so I don't want that. That'll do, that'll do, that'll do, that'll do. Dang, I should have went with a watermelon color, huh? It looks like I have way more of those. We have a good clear color situation going on here. We got some more clear right there we can add to it. Do we have any more electric one? Electric one, looking for an electric one. Whoa, look at that guy. That's pretty close to electric one. I don't see any more. Still got a lot of plastic left to go, but I like doing it one color at a time. Now that I got all the colors that I want to use, I really don't have enough of these electric ones, but they would go really good in this clear mixture. And now we got to go wash it. Now, when I wash it, you just want to get most of the dirt and main stuff off of your baits. And the majority of it will actually go down there. It floats away. Make sure there's no braided line. That's good enough. I'm gonna let those dry for just a few minutes in front of the fan. Right, and we'll move on to the color that we already have, which is the same color as those. We're just gonna be mixing a couple more colors in here, but you can see they're still clearish colors. We just don't want to saturate this too much, too many different glitters and all that. And that little bit of dye that you see at the end there, that's gonna bleed all in. We're gonna cut this stuff up a little bit so that it melts Melts down a little easier, a little faster. We're gonna add some plastisol stabilizer. Just a little bit. That makes sure it doesn't burn. I'm gonna start that much of raw plastic that's completely dried. I'm gonna start that at 3 minutes. So while that's going, I'll get this injector. Make sure it's oiled. Okay. Our injector is ready to go. Always make sure you wear gloves. This stuff is hot and it will burn you. Now we take this plastisol out. We take a look at it. All right. And that's melting down nicely. Put it in there for another 1.5 minutes. Move these guys around a little bit. Looks like the rain may be subsiding, which if that's the case, we're definitely gonna go do some fishing. 3, 2, 1. Now that plastisol looks pretty hot. You can or you can not buy a vacuum chamber. A vacuum chamber will get rid of all these bubbles, or you can heat it up and keep stirring it like this for a good little second to get most of the bubbles to the top, and then you'll just let it sit. And those bubbles will slowly work their way up. But you just gotta make sure that they work their way up before it cools down enough that you can't use it anymore. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this shot, this little bit right here, and put this shot of plastic in the vacuum chamber. So now we got this raw plastisol, and this is that clear jerkbait style color that I'm wanting to do. It's a little too hot for me to pour. I like to pour it about somewhere between 3 and 320. So a good way to cool this off real fast is to stick it right in front of your fan and stir it pretty briskly. So we'll do that for just a second. Now we got it at 330. I'm gonna get ready to shoot. Make sure my injector's ready to pull, locked, everything's good to go. I'm gonna give it one final little stir to get that glitter all nice and mixed up. It's a little hot, so I'm not gonna push real hard on this injection, so I don't want a lot of flashing. And at the end, I'm gonna hold steady pressure for about 5 seconds is what I do. Then you need to top it off. You're gonna have to top it off probably one more time so that you don't get any bubbles in the sprue and in the first bait or so. And I'm just gonna top it off one more time. Don't make a mess, don't pour it real fast. And the man to see, like I've said before, is Chris Jones, World's Worst Fishing. Make sure you go check him out. He's really good at making plastic baits, especially hand pouring, and I mean just anything you need to know about this hobby or this process, if you will. Chris is the man to see. Chris is the man to talk to. Chris is the man to watch, and you will learn anything you want to know about making plastic baits. So I think it's pretty set up right now, but to give it a little more time, I'm going to do my injector first. So I go ahead and clean my injector, pull that off, pull that out, take the lid off or take the cap off. Try not to break stuff. And then I put a little bit of oil around my O-ring again. And that injector's ready to go again. So we're gonna open this mold up and see what kind of jerkbaits we got. Now, as you can see right there, everything filled in. We have no bubbles. Everything looks good. And those are little shad looking colored jerkbaits. And we're gonna come over here and we're gonna let these cure for a little bit. For this next one, we know we got that plastic, so we're gonna leave that alone for a second. And we're gonna go to these baits over here.
cut it up a little bit. Little Lure Works Plastisol stabilizer. Same thing, we're gonna go with 3 minutes, check it, put it in for a little bit longer. And when you lay your plastic out, you just want to lay it out somewhere and get it as straight as possible so it doesn't kink when it cures, because this plastic's still real soft right now. Now, could you put this on a hook and go use it? Yes, but it's going to tear off very easily. So you need to let them cure for a little while. These are brand new, these are a couple days, and there's a drastic difference. So let them cure for 24 to 48 hours before you bag and oil them. It gets in depth after a while and it gets expensive if you want it to, but you can also just get into this with just a mold, an injector, the minimal chemical that you need to keep the plastic going, and you can make your own baits with just the leftover stuff that you're buying or that you have bought. Just keep it, don't throw it away. I throw all mine in the boat floorboard or in the kayak floorboard, put it in a bucket. Well, first it rides around in the back of my truck for quite some time. Then it goes in a bucket, it gets washed, it gets separated, and it gets remelted and made into the same thing so that I can just keep fishing. So this is good information for those who want to use it. And if you want more and better information, once again, see Chris Jones, World Worst Fishing, right here on YouTube. You can't go wrong. He'll teach you everything you need to know. I'm just gonna give this a quick stir. Oh, you can hear that. You can hear that water in there now. There's gonna be a lot of bubbles in this. It's definitely gonna have to go to the vacuum chamber. This is gonna be the color of our plastisol that we've got all mixed together, and it's still just hot enough for me to shoot. So let's do that real quick. Let's shoot this guy real quick. Oh, excuse me. We'll top that off. Pour our excess back in there. We'll top this guy off one more time just to be safe. So now we let that dry for a second and we see what that color looks like now that we mixed a few different ones together. All right, let's see what this one looks like. Curious to see now with this electric one mixed in there. Oh wow, that looks pretty appetizing. Pretty appetizing. That's gonna get bit for sure. So yeah, I think those jerk baits are gonna get bit. I think they're gonna catch us some fish for sure. And now you guys know a little bit more about how to recycle your plastic baits. There's really not a lot to it. Once you learn the basics, it's pretty repetitious. And again, I can't stress this enough, go check out World's Worst Fishing if you want some really good information on bait making. I just happen to have to make some of these today for myself and thought I'd bring you guys along so anybody who may want to get into this could get into this with minimal amount of money and effort. So that's gonna do it for me. I'm gonna go take the kayak and I'm gonna go try to catch some fish on the way home. So we'll see you guys next time. Who knows, maybe you'll ride along with me to catch some fish with some of these new baits. We're at this pond on I-4 that I've always wanted to stop at, and I never have. So I decided to do so today. So we're gonna charge this thing, and we're gonna do it one time around, and that's it. That's all we're doing. One time around. I don't have nothing to drink. I think I got the remnants of a bottle of water right here. And that's gonna be all she wrote. But it's better than like nothing. I got ants all over my feet because I didn't wear no shoes because that was stupid. Let's go give this a try. Hopefully we don't die in the process. Retention pond on I-4 that we've always wanted to go to, we just never have. Today we get to check it out. I'm gonna go over to this area that don't have a lot of wind first. Throw this fluke around a little bit. Water's real clear water. It's a good looking pond. I have yet to see one fish move these lily pads as I go by. So that's not a good sign. There may not be a lot of fish in here at all, and there may not be any big fish in here even if there are fish. So I guess that remains to be seen. Let's see if we can get anything up in these little lily pads right here. Holy shit. We just got hit. Holy crap. First cast. That means you probably ain't gonna do that good. When you catch something on your first cast, it's usually a shit day after that. So that fish looked a pound or two. Nothing super big. Got one. He's all stunned. Wow, that's a pretty fish. Calm down, bud. Calm down. It's a pretty fish. Look at the colors on that fish. I'll tell you, if we catch a big one that looks like that, it's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna be beautiful. Looked him right in the roof of the mouth. Pretty fish. Let's send him back home. All right, we got the skunk out of the boat. That's what matters. The skunk is out of the boat. Yeah, I've always wanted to fish this pond, man. I drive by it all the time and it looks so good. And then I seen, oh my Lord, that was a big bite. There it comes, there it comes. There he comes. There he comes. Now that one looks entirely different. That one has hardly any colors on it. Hardly any colors whatsoever. Oh, he was barely hooked. Look at that. Wow. Barely hooked. He has no colors. Oh man, she's starving. Starving fish. Good looking fish, but real skinny. So let's not get too far. This wind's blowing us around. Look real good. Oh, just bumped some pads. Just bumped some pads. Oh, we got hit right at the edge of those pads. He followed it in, son. He wanted it. He got it right at the edge of those pads. All right. That's two on the dirty jigs. He's barely hooked. There's two on the dirty jigs and one on a fluke. This one's not near as pretty as the first one either. He don't have near the colors. Still a pretty little fish though. See you later, bud. Oh, you know, splash water all over me. That was rude. Make sure my hairs on my jig look good. Yep, we're good. Let's try another real long one. And bring it right down the side of those lily pads. Try not to bump them. Try not to bump those pads.
Just bring that swim jig right along the outside there. Nice and slow, it's just swimming by, trying to get from point A to point B. And it's just an unsuspecting little bait fish, swimming right along. All right, that was a decent one. He fucking hammered that dirty jig. Hammered it. I wonder how long you were following it before you decided to commit on it. All right, another one on the dirty jigs. Yeah. It's not a beast, but it's a good fish. It's a good fish. See you later, boss. Another little one on the dirty. Through the roof of the mouth. Another little guy on the dirty jigs. Man, we're super close to I-4 now. Got that, he came from the bottom up, you got that one. Another little guy on the dirty jigs, hooked him in the exact same spot. Another little guy on the dirty jigs. See you later, bud. Man, that first bass we caught, he had really good pattern, really good. And everyone since then has been an off-colored, golden-looking bass. Dirty jig. Bunch of little guys though. Looks like that's all we're gonna get. This spot is little guys. Little guys are better than no guys though, so it's a good looking little fish. He thumped that dirty jig. Man, that wind is blowing, isn't it? It is just pumping. Well, that was fun. We finally fished this pond on I-4 that I've been looking at for a year. It's a good looking pond, real good looking pond. All right, y'all, that's gonna do it for me. It's a wrap for today. Tomorrow I'll be fishing somewhere else that remains to be seen. I'm gonna go home, get some food, charge these cameras up, get the gear together for tomorrow and plan a trip. I'll see you guys out on the water. Keep them wet.